we had a little bit of Twitter beef, and it's crazy because before we jumped on live, we talked about it because we had this same discussion, maybe a year or two ago.
Yeah.
And for the people that don't know, we had Asante Samuel, Man Pod alum.
Yeah.
You know, he was talking about actually he was talking about Sauce Gardner. He started talking about Sauce Gardner and how, you know, he felt like some of the other young corners weren't getting the same pub that he was getting based off Sauce being in the New York market. And then he went from
just talking about Tariq. I think he said Tariq Woolen had the better rookie year out there in Seattle. He's at 6 picks.
Yeah. And then you know, he got to talking about Darrelle Revis, Hall of Fame Darrelle Revis, and how, you know, numbers and being that Darrelle Revis was in the New York market, you know, got him a GOAT. All this. I thought everything was nonsense. I think we've talked about it before. It's like,
whoa. What you thought was nonsense?
I felt the back and forth was nonsense.
Okay.
The back and forth was nonsense. Two great corners, the best corners that played during our era. Even to play the position, you know what I mean? To really speak facts. So we always talk about, like, you know, you look at the tight ends, man, how the tight ends get together every year, and we always talk about, damn, man, why can the DBs,
the pass rushers,
pass rushers, DBs, we built a little different. You know what I'm saying? We built a little different, but I hated to see this on Twitter, and I know we was kind of going back and forth, like, damn, like, why they got to go at it like that? And I think somebody asked you a question on Twitter, was like, you know, if you had to, like, who would you side with? And you was like, you know, if it was like a cover 2 type or 2 high, 2 shell type defense, you would go with Asante. If it was like a single high, you would go with Darrelle Revis. And then obviously you look at these 2 players, Asante Samuel, I think he ended his career with 51 interceptions. Darrelle Revis, not as many interceptions, but his 29, but his impact on the game, the way he was able to, you know, we call it Revis Island, the way he would just be able to cut off a whole side of the field. It was like, who would you rather go with? And we talked about this 2 years ago. I was like, man, as a D coordinator, if you could give me somebody that I didn't have to worry about a half of the field, shit, man, give me that guy. But then you was like, well, shoot, man, get somebody that could turn the ball over.
Yeah.
And I could get the ball back to my offense. Give me that guy. I don't think it's a wrong answer. But again, man, how did you feel about this back and forth between two of the greats?
I hated to see the beef, but you know how it is. You got egos. You got, you know. We had. Hey, I would encourage everyone to go back in the archives and find the Asante Samuel man-to-man interview. And if you're gonna watch that, I don't think you'll be surprised by anything he said. On his timeline, or anything he says on his timeline, or his podcast. I think his podcast is called The Art of the Interception, I believe. And that's all Zant cared about, the ball. That's all he cared about was the ball. Zant is we from the same area of Broward County. I looked up to Zant my whole life pretty much when it came to playing that position. You know, I was a smaller guy, played footwork, good footwork, had good ball skills. So that was one of the guys that I tried to model some of my game after. And then being around the same age as Revis, seeing it in the Big East, we were in the Big East together. Then I got drafted to the AFC East, so I had a front row seat to Revis Island and just seeing him develop over the time and how at his peak, I didn't see a cornerback better at his peak. I think every corner in the league was watching Revis tape, especially when it came to what he did at that line of scrimmage, eliminating routes, patience, footwork, all that type of stuff, man. But like you said, we had that conversation, and I don't think it's a right or wrong answer. Even when I made that answer, Gerard Powers, another man-to-man alum, was like, man, get out of here with that PCBS, man. What's the real answer? Him and Casey Hayward kind of put my feet to the fire.
Right.
And I said, look, if I had the draft, if it was in the draft and you got Revis and Zant in the draft, I'm taking Revis in the draft. You know, I would say overall Revis was the better corner, but a lot of people who just kind of wrote it off like Zont was just some, some average or good player. Like, hold on now.
Yeah, that's not the case.
Hold on now. That's not the case at all. Zont had a stretch where he was 10 picks, 9, 7, 6, 5 type shit. This was the tweet mentioned because PFF, all the little different media outlets got on this conversation, start putting out their questions to get interaction and whatnot. Not bit. So PFF, all right, let's settle this. Asante Samuel or Darrelle Revis. And depends on the scheme. My answer was it depends on the scheme. If I'm a too high shell-based defense, give me Zont. Once again, Zont instincts, reading the quarterback. We asked him his top 5 receivers he played against during his career. He said, I can't even give you those. I can give you the top 5 quarterbacks because that's who I playing that left back position. So I said, too high defense, give me Zont. If I'm a single high, where it's man-to-man, for y'all that don't know or maybe new to the pod, single high is 1 deep, free safety. And then you got everybody else kind of down. And then a 2 high is like you got 2 safeties back. So it could be quarters, it could be cover 2. And that creates more indecision on the quarterback as to what the cornerback's going to do if you got 2 high safeties, because now the corner can rotate up. He can do different things. If it's single high, a quarterback knows those corners, they got to have deep responsibilities because nobody else can get to that sideline. So that was my answer. And I say you can't go wrong with either, in my opinion. And, like I said, me and AB had this debate. Would you rather have that guy to take away a side, or would you rather have that guy to give your quarterback and offense extra possessions? Me personally, especially in today's NFL where you got 2, 3 legit targets on offense on every team. Like, no, it ain't like guys come out and you take away Andre Johnson, early on in the Texans, we going to have a good chance when you take away it. Like, nah, people got 2, 3 options now. So give me the guy that's going to get that tater bean and get it back to the quarterback. But I hated to see the big. We actually had a big spaces that Darius Slay started, and we said we're going to do some type of DB summit, or we're going to all get together next offseason. Hey, you definitely got to be a part of it. We got to figure out the location. And break bread, man, fellowship, learn game. Sauce was on there. He was talking. A lot of the DJ Reed, a lot of the guys. Antonio Cromartie was in there, chopping it up, man, because you usually don't see this type of beef, pause, especially when it comes to the young guys. Sauce just getting his feet wet. It ain't his fault he got drafted in New York. He went top 5 in New York. He did everything he was supposed to do on the field to get the hype that he's getting. I think he's deserving of it. But yeah, man, it definitely led to some great conversations by 2 great players. It was a lot of funny back and forth. And at the end of the day, Asante Samuels deserved to be in the Hall of Fame.
No question.
Like, at this point, he should be in there. Darrelle Revis, he was deserving to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. But it was definitely some interesting convo in the DB world.
Yeah.
The last couple weeks, man. Man, who your top 5 corners though, all time, on the spot?
Top 5 corners.
Top 5. I won't say all time. I'll say top 5 that you've seen. You didn't necessarily, I play with them or against them. But
I'm gonna go top 5. I'm gonna go Dion.
Okay.
I'm gonna go Champ. No particular order.
No order.
No order.
Okay.
No order. I'm just giving you my top 5. I'm gonna go Dion. I'm gonna go Champ. I'm gonna go Rod Woodson. I'm gonna go Seawood, and I'm gonna go Revis. No. Take Revis out and give me Ty Law.
From the same city. They both from Aliquippa, both Hall of Famers. That's tough. I know for sure I got the same top 4. Prime, Champ, 12-time Pro Bowler, I believe. Most by any DB ever. Give me Prime, give me Champ, Seawood. Rod Woodson was that deal. He obviously moved to safety and played. Rod got to be in there too. Rod Woodson. Yeah, Revis too. I mean, I go Revis. You got Law. I got to put Revis in there at top 5. His peak was different.
And then it's still like Darrell Green.
Got D Green. You got some of my favorites to watch. It's Love Aeneas Williams. I did a lot of research on Mel Blount. I obviously didn't watch him a lot.
Yeah, he changed. He actually changed legend. The game.
He was like 6'2", 6'3", 4'4". 6'4". Legitimately changed how the game is played because he was mauling cats at the line of scrimmage. Charles Woodson, 4 All-Pros out the gate. Rookie, second, third, fourth year, 4 All-Pros, then won the Defensive Player of the Year, the nickel, then went on to play safety. A lot of greats, man. Ronnie Lott even was a All-Pro corner early in his career. So whenever you're going between these greats, you start to split hairs. But I think we've got I like the top 5.
And when you talk about your top 5, obviously it's all opinionated. You know what I'm saying? It's all opinionated. Everybody gonna see the game differently for the most part. But you know, again, like you can take away 1 or 2 guys potentially and put some other guys in. If you even in that conversation as far as top 5 shit, you know, you probably deserve it. You know what I mean?
Facts.
So again, man, hats off to the guys.
You know who slept on, whose career slept on?
Who?
Stephon Gilmore. When it's all said and done, he gonna have because it ain't too many corners. Ain't too many corners walking around with that depoy.
Yeah.
And they on their trophy case, they can say, hey, with Aaron Donald and J.J. Watt and Von Miller and all these great pass rushers in the league, I got one of these defensive players of the year, Super Bowl champ, still playing good ball at this point in his career. So I think he don't talk a lot. He don't make a lot of headlines off the football field, but Gilly Locke, his Patrick Peterson, he's still playing. Yeah. His resume is very impressive. I think 8 Pro Bowls straight out the gate, which was the first guy since Barry Sanders, I think, to do that. So it's a lot of guys with a lot of impressive. Yeah, a lot of guys with a lot of Richard Sherman, obviously. Speaking of the guys who are, recently retired, Keith Talib. A lot of guys, man. A lot of guys, good ball players, man. But yeah, the DB beef was interesting, pause.